Buongiorno, benvenuti to the ItalianCookingClass.com. What we're doing here today, folks, is we're doing a beautiful, simple recipe called Napoletana sauce, which most of you may know. It's so sweet, so simple, so flavoursome that it really is bizarre, and it costs you, well under $2, and you can use it as a dip or a pasta sauce, and you can feed your family with it. It can, this will do a 500 gram pack of pasta, or again a small dish, and have a nice dip out of it. It's so nutritional, it's very simple. I learned it off a Napoletano, which is obviously the origin of this sauce. Napoletana sauce comes from Naples. It's very simple. We've got 3 base ingredients, which is garlic, right here, fresh garlic. Peeled tomatoes. If you've got fresh tomatoes, that's fine as well. They do have to be skinned if you don't want to have any skin in the actual tomato itself. That's why these are called peeled tomatoes in a tin, and they make a great sugo, as we call it, a nice sauce. And we've got some beautiful fresh basil. Fresh basil is the only way to have basil, because otherwise it just has no flavour to it, no aroma, no nothing. So it's just basil, tomato and garlic. And now we'll put it together. Okay, so what we're going to do now is just, the recipe, as the recipe says, is a 400 gram tin of peeled tomatoes. Again, you can use your own tomatoes if you like. You just have to blanch them and remove the skin. We've got 3 tablespoons of olive oil in there, ready to go. We're going to add a whole clove of garlic. Now it's going to be whole purely and simply because you can take it out if you want to once the sauce is actually cooked, ready to go. But you can use it, you can slice it up or dice it up. Now if you do that, you just got to be mindful that when you're actually cooking in the oil, the garlic being small, it will burn quicker, so it's more forgiving as a whole piece of garlic, more so than little chopped ones. Now it's okay to have again the smaller ones, but if it burns, it will taint in the actual dish. So we're actually just frying that off. We're going to brown off the garlic in the oil so that it actually fuses it and picks up quite a bit of the flavour there. Just getting nice and hot. We've got some a wooden spoon. Now I've got a potato masher here. Now the idea of this is that what it does do is when we throw the tomatoes into the oil, we can actually break them up with the potato masher. The reason being so that they actually cook a lot quicker and you get more flavour into it more rapidly. Now if you weren't to do that and break them up, you could break them up with your hand if you wanted to, but don't squash them that way. Just put the actual tomato in between your thumb and break the pulp and the actual juice of the tomato together, so that you're not squeezing the juice out through your fingers and leaving the actual pulp inside your hand. Now we're just starting to brown that garlic nicely there. It's fusing. You can really smell the beautiful aromas of the garlic fusing the oil. It's just nicely. And if you wanted to really fuse it quite somewhat and get a really intense garlic flavour, you can see the smoke coming up now, you would actually just add that, you would allow that to brown off a bit more. But we're just going to brown it off a little bit there, as you can see in there. Maybe you might be able to zoom in there and have a good look at the garlic there. Can you see that? Okay. Can you see the garlic there? How it's just, I'll just turn that around a bit. Yep, beautiful. Okay, now we'll add the tomatoes in there. There you go. See how hot that is? That's really quite hot. And that's good because we want it to actually cook nicely and quite rapidly. This sauce with a 400 gram tin of peeled tomatoes, what actually happens is it'll take about 8 to 10 minutes maximum to cook, and it just becomes up really, really sweet. We're just going to season that with some nice things. And now the actual recipe calls for about 4 or 5 leaves of basil, which is right there, and we can add the actual basil to it now as well. What you can do is actually, add a little bit more, what you can do is actually throw the basil into the oil beforehand, just to fuse the oil before you add the tomato, but I've decided this time to add it after the tomato has actually gone in there. Now we'll just crush these up like this. Oops, see that I always said messy kitchen is a good kitchen. You see that spit right out there? But as you can see now, if you come in close, You can see it there. See how it's all nicely broken with the actual potato masher itself, and it's all nice and even. And now we're just going to let that cook off for about about 8 minutes, and we'll reduce it some more to get a nice sweet texture there. Okay, so as you can see, this has been cooking for about 5 minutes now. Look how thick it's become. It's actually a lot thicker, and it has reduced, so it's quite, the moisture's gone out of the tomatoes, cooking nicely, and we can see the basil in there, and it's got a beautiful smell of sweet cooked tomatoes, and it's just wonderful. This will cook for 3 minutes, and what we would do if you want to use it as a pasta, you would actually just cook the pasta according to instructions, and then what you would do is you would just tip the pasta into there and just cook it off together for a couple more minutes once the pasta is nearly done, and that way the sauce amalgamates to the pasta as well. But what we're going to do is we're going to use it as a dip. So now it's been cooking for a little bit longer, folks, and we're going to just have a little taste to see how it acts. That is so sweet and beautiful and flavoursome. What we're going to do is we're going to actually serve it up as a little dip, and we'll go from there. You can just see how nice and thick it is, and it just falls out there just wonderfully. That actually took a bit less than 8 minutes, about 6 minutes, but it was on really high heat, and you can see how well it's cooked. And if you want to cook it a little bit more, folks, you can actually do so. Just a little bit more water in there, because if you find it's a little bit tart for you, a little bit acidic, put a bit more water and it'll give it some more cook time, as well as the fact of, so the sugars will come out of the tomato more and the water will evaporate, and then it becomes sweeter. So that's something you can do, but I like it like this. It's just nice, and we'll go down and we'll have a little taste. Excuse the mess here. So this is Napoletana dip, as I would call it. Stupendo. It is so sweet. It's actually a little bit of tart in it too, which I don't mind at all. But it's still sweet, and you can taste the olive oil coming through. And we're having it on some nice seaweed crackers, seaweed rice crackers. Even better still, folks. Why the crackers? Just the dip, the sauce. Buon appetito. Arrivederci, and thank you for watching tbsps.com.